Residential structure fire. 1438 Main Street.
Single story, single family residence. We've got an origin fire on the front.
911, what's your emergency?
Copy that. We'll be set number now. Will be.
Sir, help is on the way.
Engine 7 pulling the line, passing command.
Hi, I'm Nick Schneeberger. I'm a driver operator with the Wellington Fire Protection District, and today we're going to take a good look at engine 17. This here is our pump panel. The pump panel is what the driver operator will be using during structure fires, car fires, anything that we have to deploy a hose line for. All of the levers that you see here are discharges. The discharges are things that we are able to flow water out of. When we use these discharges, we will be charging different types of hose lines. If you look here, we have two hose lines. They're both 1 3/4 pre-connects, which means they're already pre-connected to the truck. These are our primary attack lines for any sort of fire that we need to quick deploy a hose for. If we move down, we have this big guy right here. This is our 5-inch intake. Our 5-inch intake is what we hook up to hydrants, or we have another engine relay pump to us so that we are able to refill our tank with water. 1,000 gallons is what engine 17 carries for water, and we carry about 20 gallons of Class B foam. Class B foams are good for anything from an ordinary structure fire all the way up to hydrocarbons and polar solvents. We adjust the percentage of the foam that we use for the type of fire we're fighting. Alrighty. Next we have what's called the Plumbers Compartment. The Plumbers Compartment is going to have everything adapters wise and connections to the hydrant. We also have a low profile strainer. One unique feature of our district is a lot of it is in rural areas, which means we don't have a hydrant water source. So we have to drop what's called a porta pond or a porta tank so that the engine is basically used as a large vacuum to suck up the water to supply the hose lines that we're fighting in those rural settings. If you look here, we do have a command light on top of the truck. It is just 6 large lights that illuminate scenes at night. As you can also see, we have lights on the top of the apparatus as well that illuminate things at night for us as well. Moving up, we'll start up top here. We have our PFDs, personal flotation devices. We do have a lot of water in our district, so it is pretty crucial for us that we have the proper safety equipment to use and operate in our district. Moving over, we have auxiliary scene lights. The auxiliary scene lights are used that if we need to light a doorway, if we kill power to any sort of emergency. Moving forward, just a center compartment. We have extra gaskets, things of that such when we do drafting. And as you can see, we have all kinds of hose and appliances for us to help adjust and fight fires accordingly. This truck is equipped with 4 extra small, they're a tubular shape. The tubular shape, we can carry anything from fusees to oxygen cylinders. This side we have a couple sets of fusees to help illuminate ourselves during the winter conditions at night on roadways. And the spare oxygen cylinders we use for medical emergencies and things of that such. This compartment here is full of all kinds of tools, multiple different tools for multiple different uses. If you look in the front, we start with bolt cutters, and then we come to the top. This big shiny thing is called a piercing nozzle. If we are unable to fight a fire due to it's in the attic and we can't get to the attic space, or it's in some sort of confined space, we can hook a hose line to this, jam it through the floor or wherever the space is, and we can actually flow water into that space without putting firefighters or any other people in danger. Going down from there, this is called a Pulaski. This is a wildland firefighting tool. Due to our district being in such a wildland urban interface, we do carry wildland tools on our apparatus so that if we are out in engine 17 and we don't have our brush apparatus with us, we are able to then effectively start fighting a grass fire without having to increase response time. We have a couple sets of axes in here, a pick head axe, a flathead axe, and then this is my personal favorite tool. This is called a Halligan. Some people call it the key to the city. It can actually get into pretty much anywhere. It's got what we call an adz end and a fork end. The fork end is here, and then you have an adz end back here. The adz end has what looks like a straight shaft and then a pike on it. We use these for forcible entry, opening hoods on cars, anything in the manner of that such. Moving on, we have this little leather pouch here. This is called a K-tool. There are certain different types of locks that we're unable to get into, or the door's made of glass. And our best thing is we want to keep property intact for all of the people that we serve in our district. The K-tool allows us to go through the lock and actually get into buildings without damaging too many things. Moving forward, we have 6 spare compressed air cylinders. A common misconception in the fire service is that we actually use oxygen in our cylinders. They're actually compressed air. So we have a compressor, we fill these cylinders, and this is what we'll breathe inside any hazardous environment, or what we call an LDLH environment. Next, engine 17 is fully complemented with extrication equipment. This includes spreaders, cutters, and a hydraulic ram. These are things that we will use during any kind of vehicle accident with extrication that is needed, whether that's in extricating a patient, or if the vehicle is then pinned between another, we're able to use it to free it up. These are the hydraulic hoses that we use, and then this is the hydraulic pump. It is a Hamacho hydraulic pump. Like I spoke earlier about having a complement of wildland tools on the apparatus, this is one of the tools that we use. These are all different sizes of hose, ranging from 1 inch to 1.5 inches, that we are able to use that are designated for the wildland realm. They're lighter jacketed, they're easier to maneuver, and they're also 100 feet long. So they get us a little better reach. Same compartment, we carry this red thing right here as a salvage cover. If we were to do overhaul after a structure fire and we don't want to damage your house, that is one of our priorities. We simply pull the salvage cover out. We can cover furniture, we can put debris and rubble in it and move it to the front yard for later extinguishment or things of that such. Behind the hoses here, we have kitty litter. When you're getting a car accident, turns out you leak a lot of fluids out of your car, whether that's gasoline or any kind of radiator fluid. So we like to put that down. It helps save the environment whenever there's chemicals exposed to it. And it also makes it an easier cleanup for our friends at the tow services. This is engine 17's hose bed. In the hose bed, we carry 800 feet of 5-inch large diameter hose that we use for relay pumping operations between engines in a rural setting, or we can connect to hydrants in our city settings to supply our apparatus with water. We also carry 1,200 feet of 2.5 inch. This can be used for a supply line if a hydrant's not available or a 5-inch isn't available to be used. It can also be used for an extended reach lay. Extended reach lays can be used to fight structure fires that are further away from the engine than our normal hose lays can reach. This is a 2.5 inch pre-connect. The 2.5 inch pre-connect can be used as an attack line or a defensive line depending on the structure fire. It's called a Minuteman lay. You'll simply pull this out, place it on your shoulder, and you'll deploy the rest of the hose out. It makes for a fast, easy, and efficient deployment of the 2.5 inch hose. We also carry traffic cones. Traffic cones are probably one of the most used things we use on the apparatus, whether it's we stop for a medical emergency on the street or car accidents. A lot of our district has a lot of highway through it. So we use these pretty frequently to make sure that we have proper safety for our firefighters and those involved in the accident. Here you'll see what we call a booster reel. This booster reel is roughly 150 feet. It is a hose that is connected to a reel that we can just rewind with the click of a button. This will be also used in our wildland settings. You can see in here we also have these little blue packs. These are called fire shelters. They're the #1 safety thing for wildland firefighters. The other 2 bags that you see sitting inside of here are our hydrant bags. These are used for connecting to a hydrant if we have to leave a firefighter out there and drive to the scene. They're able to have the proper tools to open and access the hydrant to feed the driver operator water with the apparatus. We're going to start from the top down in this compartment. Here we have what we call step chocks. The reason they're called step chocks is because they look like little steps. When we use them during vehicle accidents that we need to stabilize a vehicle in any kind of capacity. It has all the different levels that make it more easily accessible to place under a vehicle. We carry a spare Halligan in the back for forcible entry purposes. And then we also carry what we call a 7-step bag. In the 7-step bag, we have an assortment of pry bars, window punches, battery cutters, webbing, and we also carry a tourniquet inside there as well. If we do need to use the 7-step bag, we'll be doing a vehicle extrication. That would be the priority of that coming out of the truck. We also carry a set of chains for securing vehicles, securing apparatus, or conducting chain lifts with what we call the Rescue 42s. The Rescue 42s are a stabilization tool that we can use to, they basically telescope out for vehicles that are no longer on 4 wheels. In this bag here, we carry ratchet straps for the Rescue 42s. They just look like a standard ratchet strap. It's just a red ratchet strap with a ratchet on the one end. This bag here, we carry extra cribbing. The cribbing is basically the step chocks, but they're just 4x4s, 2x4s, 2x6s, things of that such that we're able to use to secure vehicles more soundly. My favorite part of this compartment is going to be the saws. The saws we carry are a K12 saw. This saw really will cut through anything. We have a diamond blade on it, so it can cut through concrete, metal, wood, you name it, it'll cut through it. We use that for forcible entry, vertical ventilation, horizontal ventilation. Pretty much any time that tool is needed, it's a day. This here is our chainsaw. It has a carbide tip chain on it, which means it's stronger than your normal chainsaw chain. It's going to cut through, we use it for vertical ventilation, horizontal ventilation. We can use it during rick operations and things of that such. The other 2 cans here, you'll see we have just normal gasoline and then mixed fuel for the chainsaw. Just like on the other side of the apparatus, we have a 2-hold cylindrical sort of storage compartment. That side had fuses, this side carries spare oxygen cylinders. Like we talked about on the other side, the oxygen is for our patients. The cylinders that you see on our backs are for us, that is compressed air. We carry these because we sometimes have multiple patients on scene, or we use a lot of oxygen on a scene and we need extra cylinders. This compartment carries 2 different types of extinguishers. This one here is called a PW, or a pressurized water can. It carries water and a little bit of foam. When we use the PW, you'll see us bringing it on small kitchen fires, trash fires, things of that such, so that we don't damage your house by bringing in a large hose line that puts out a substantial amount of water. The next extinguisher is an ABC extinguisher. You'll see them in kitchens, houses across the nation. It's just a normal ABC extinguisher for everyday use. We can use it during car accidents, small kitchen fires, anything that you would use an ABC for. This one's just a little bit bigger. This pack here is the driver's pack, or it's just an exterior SCBA, which is a self-contained breathing apparatus. You'll see it on a lot of apparatus have it on the exterior. The driver's seat does not have a pack in it. When we go in the cab, we can show you that. But this one's on the exterior so that the driver of the apparatus is able to don it on the exterior of the rig. Here we have 2 other Sparrow 2 cylinders, just as we saw before. This compartment here has all different types of ropes in it. We've got ropes set up with a pulley system for quick extrication out of basements or 2nd-story windows, and we also have life safety rope for any sort of rescue operation that we may conduct. Moving down, due to the pandemic, we've started to carry more cleaning things for our apparatus. We carry all different types of cleaning chemicals to make sure our firefighters are safe when they come back into the station. These sort of cleaning things take care of all sorts of viruses and things of that such on our PPE and our personnel. As you look down, we carry our medical equipment on the exterior of the truck. This red kit here is what most will refer to as a jump kit. This carries all of our primary medical equipment. You'll see us bringing it on every medical call. This red box here is a fan. It's called a box fan. After a structure fire has been put out, or if there's some sort of hazmat situation in your home, we pull the box fan to make sure that we're able to expel all of those carcinogens, smoke, CO, things of that such. You'll see us put it up at the front of the door, and we basically fill the environment with clean air and push all the bad air out. We also carry a cooler for extended incidents. It just carries waters and Gatorades so that we make sure that we stay hydrated on those hot days. Moving forward, to power all of these electronics and exterior things off of the apparatus, we carry what's called a junction box. The junction box connects straight up to a reel here that hooks straight up to the generator. When we turn the generator on, we have 4 outlets on the junction box that can power 4 different things at once, whether that's a fan, a sawzall, or any kind of lighting that we may need. Engine 17 comes with a full complement of ladders. We carry a 14-foot roof ladder and a 24-foot extension ladder. When we use these ladders, it's either to get on roofs, get down ravines and things, all kinds of that stuff. This large black pipe that you see on top of the rig is called hard suction hose. As we talked earlier at the pump panel, we sometimes do drafting, which is we create a vacuum to suck water into the tank. We have to use this hard rigid hose to do so. So we carry a 10-foot section of that. Each of these little tubes here carries a long tool, whether that's a pike pole, a New York hook, a trash hook, something of that such that we're able to pull sealing, do overhaul, and sift through trash piles, if that were the case. Alrighty. In this compartment here, we carry long boards, whether that's a scoop stretch here or a backboard. We can use those to carry patients from vehicles to the cot, out of low areas, things of that such. We also carry traction splints, which is basically something that stabilizes for midline femur fractures, things of that such. We also carry a set of irons. These are called the married irons. Married irons are an axe and a Halligan that have been forced to live together. Our firefighters will grab these and bring them to any structure fire. They're used to force entry into homes, and this way that they're set up now is just an easier, more efficient way for us to get there quicker. You'll also see there are two long tools in here as well. These are both New York hooks. This is the back of engine 17. This is where the firefighters sit on our day-to-day operations and respond to calls. As you can see, there's a small compartment in the center. The small compartment in the center is what we call the doghouse. On the doghouse, there are flashlights, more medical equipment, some ice rescue things, and we carry what's called a gas monitor, a 4-gas. It detects 4 different types of gases to make sure that you're safe and we're safe when we come to your home. You'll also see that some of the firefighters have their gear staged in the back. When we're not running calls, we want to be the most efficient. When the truck's in the bay, you'll see these on the bay floor. When we're out and about, you'll see them up here in the cab. This is the officer seat of engine 17. As you can see, it's got all kinds of electronics. The biggest thing that is probably one of the biggest helps in our fire apparatus are these things called MDTs. They're the mobile data terminal. It's what we receive our 911 calls on after we get dispatched. These will give us directions to calls and also give us what are called call notes to let us know what we're coming to, whether it's a medical, fire, vehicle accident, etc. Each of the seats have an SCBA stowed inside of them. And as you can see, there's also an easy place to store your gear while you're not in the apparatus. Alrighty. On the front bumper of engine 17, you'll see this big shiny thing. It's called a Q siren. The big shiny thing, or the Q siren, is used to actually alert people for our oncoming traffic. It's that big loud whining noise you'll hear when we're responding. Engine 17 also comes equipped with 100 feet of 1 3/4 hose. The reason it is in the front bumper is for us when we go to a car fire or a fire that is in a roadway, we can actually deploy it and the firefighters are protected by the apparatus itself. This here is the driver's seat of engine 17. It's where the driver operator sits and operates the vehicle. If you look to the right, there is a LED screen that controls the emergency lights, the generator, and all the scene lights for the apparatus. On the center console, there's what we engage our pump with. When you move it into a certain position, it'll then engage the pump and you're actually able to pump for the fires. Thanks for coming on a tour of engine 17. We hope you all liked it. If you did, subscribe to our YouTube channel.